matching hundreds. It's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see teams with a couple of running backs who each went over 100 yards a weekend ago, as it'll be the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Cleveland Browns. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. First opened in 1999. There's a good look at First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, it's been
a game. Love his makeup, love his moxie, one of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
We got heavy. Everybody scoot up, heavy. I got it.
Now Trubisky on first down. And Woods has it complete. It's a loss of 4 on that first play, and it's second down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
Good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Give them 4 on the carry there, but that only takes them back to where they started. 3rd and 10.
They have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
The Browns send out their punter now. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
Let's go, folks.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues,
and it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Amari Hooker. Not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school, he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
Yeah. You don't want none. Watch the safety creep.
And to give this time to the tailback. That one good for 33 in the first.
Dance class, anyone? Did you see the steps between the quarterback and the running back?
That's what you need for a good counter.
You have to have it because you're setting up your blocking. There's a timing element as well. But they have to marry up their steps. Otherwise, that timing...
Now Trubisky lost the football. And the Jags grab it. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now they try the right side here. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Come on, set. Moody base. 56. I know he ain't got it. Flat.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and a long run there in the end to top it off. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
We play to win. Let's go.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And a week ago, as you get a look at the numbers, well over 100 yards, he was on fire.
He was on fire. Obviously, the offensive line was on fire, all the guys who were trying to assist him. But you know who else was? The play caller. Because his ego totally got out of the way, and he kept calling the plays that were working over and over, and they really didn't stop him.
Now the challenge, can they duplicate it? No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. There you see the starters defensively for Jacksonville. They were terrific in the win over Tennessee a week ago.
When I look back at the stats from last week's game, I thought it was a typo. That was a misprint. It's one thing to hold someone under 100 yards in a game. That's phenomenal. Under 50? Absolutely exceptional.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son. Shoot!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Trubisky. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
On the return, Harris. Great coverage there, holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating him up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Now a handoff looking right. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on third down. From the gun, Freeman. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Myles Garrett has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, certainly some teams are not intimidated by down and distance on defense, are they? Third and very long? Let's go get this guy again. Big-time pressure.
Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
You got it.
On third down, Trubisky. And this is going to be incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty. Can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
On second down now. It's Knight, and he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. On first down, it's Knight, and able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. On third down, Knight. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on fourth down. They'll try and run for it. They only needed about 4 or 5 inches there. Relied on the big guys up front and got it done.
Yeah, this is the time to just go ahead and hit it straight ahead. No juking, right? No movement in the backfield. Take the ball and go. As I heard a coach tell a player a long time ago, save your dancing for the club, son. Just get up into that line.
And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
This is taken at the 3. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
And he'll be taken down well before the first at about the 36-yard line. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
So here are the Jaguars to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll start the third quarter here on the ground. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar in some discomfort down there on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Right back to him on 1st down.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. To throw on 2nd down. Freeman. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired up. That's a big game. Looking to throw. Freeman. And Freeman lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
On 2nd and 15 now. Trubisky, rush coming, and he's taken down.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film section. Now Trubisky lost the football, and the Jags grab it. And they'll have a short field to work with inside the 15 at the 13-yard line.
Well, that's the down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him. Sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive...
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. From 13 yards out. And the Jags take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Let's go. Do it.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25. Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. And that leaves them with 3rd and long, which means you got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
And now the throw taken in by Chark. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Trubisky nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devin White in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. This might be a free play here for Trubisky. And a sack. They get to him defensively, but the flag comes in, and I think the D jumped. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. DJ Chark, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Browns get a score closer. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
This one taken from the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. 27 yards there, a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And he's going to be taken down. They sack him on what will be the final play of quarter number 3. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's Jaguar football here. They'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 16 yards that time on the pickup for the Jags and a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
The Jags picking up the 1st down there, a gain of 12. On 1st down, Freeman. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. From 4 yards out. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And you're Thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This will be taken in at the 1. And now running right through it. And he'll get a... The 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And the Browns getting set to go. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing, because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The Browns on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Now it's Trubisky, and that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go.
Now the ball comes loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charlie. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23, and they will score. It's a Jacksonville touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
The point after is good, and that will extend this big lead. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
Comes back. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. 20, 10, and he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. And sometimes those slants, they can be so tough to defend after the catch. It just happens so quickly.
And really, what gets set up there is how quickly everything happens. Ball's out of the hands of the passer in a hurry, and he just takes it and goes.
And he went all the way into the end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commented.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Now it's looking incredibly likely to be a 3-0 start to this season. That is obviously excellent. 2-0 is one thing. 3-0, you really have some momentum.
And now they're serving notice to the rest of the league that they're a pretty darn good football team. Confident, aggressive, attacking at all times. This looks like a team that you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? Behind closed doors, they're trying to figure out ways to get better.
No problem there on the extra point. And the lead will swell by one more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
One play has them to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Trubisky will throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now, Trubisky lost the football, and the Jags grab it. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. They'll run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball's...
And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this? Blitz coming, and down he goes.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Let's see what they draw up here. 3rd and long following the sack of Trubisky. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Around the NFL, 4th quarter right now in Atlanta. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point, as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
56. Push him back.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Back to throw. Freeman. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, getting the points from me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
An incredibly short kick fielded way up there.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Jaguars, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Browns, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports.
I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver, I'm a believer.